Hello everybody, welcome back. You're joining me today on a very rainy, grey and drizzly day, but today I've decided I'm going to show you around my garden. In this section of the garden we've got our rose bushes. Got a few different varieties in here. They're all bush roses, and as you can see, some are flowering already, some have got buds, and some have not done anything at the moment, but we're quite happy because it means that we should get a good array of flowers all through the summer. Now we've mulched underneath and covered it over with a weed membrane, and the plan is once we're able to get hold of the materials, we're going to put some either blue slate over the weed membrane, or we're going to go for white gravel just to bring out the colours in the roses and obviously help to stop any weeds coming through. This that you can see down here is my Auricular Theatre. I've made this from reclaimed wood from pallets and painted it in a nice fence paint. It does match the fences that we have around the garden. So that's going to be filled with little terracotta pots and auriculars when I can get hold of them. Obviously everybody's struggling to get hold of things at the moment, so that's on the agenda for when things are back up and running. And that's going to go on the wall beside the back door. I do like to have little different points of interest in a garden, little focal points. It just makes it a bit more interesting when you're wandering around the garden to see little bits everywhere that's drawing your eye and giving you something to focus on. And behind the Auricular Theatre we have a nice hosta. We've only just planted this hosta and it seems to be doing okay. We've had to think about planting for this section of the garden because, as you can see, we do have some rather big conifer trees, so we've had to think about shade loving plants. Now the conifer trees aren't staying, they are coming down eventually, but for the time being we didn't want a bare patch of ground, so we've planted a fern. There is a nice foxglove that randomly came through, that wasn't planted. Obviously some bird might have dropped a seed or something, or it's blown over from somewhere else, but it's a very welcome addition anyway. And there we have the hosta. And this section of the garden here is right outside the kitchen window. When you're cooking in the kitchen or just chilling in there, listening to the radio or whatever it is you like to do in the kitchen, it's nice to be able to look out and see all this greenery right outside of your window. We've got a blueberry tree there. It's got lots of blueberries coming on there, which are great with pancakes and syrup. One of my son's favourite breakfasts. And just above there we've got a nice wind chime that we bought while we were on honeymoon last year. And here we've got a bird feeder, a nice bird table that my husband Matt actually made. And we've hung from the bird feeder a little, it's actually a bed that you would use for pet mice, for them to nest in. Just see if I can turn it around and show you. We've hung it there for robins to nest in. Robins like things like that. So it's got a little hole in there. Got no robins nesting in it at the moment, but I'm sure they will do at some point. And obviously we're very big on having wildlife in the garden, so the more bird feeders and nesting boxes the better. This that you can see here is my watering can light feature for the garden. It's just a galvanised watering can with some solar lights pushed inside and falling out down the spout. And the illusion when it's dark and the lights come on is that the lights are watering the flower beds down here, and it's really quite effective. I will obviously show you that again later when it starts to get dark, and then you can see the effect that I was talking about. The middle section of the garden is grassed at the moment. This garden is very much a work in progress. We like to sit and think about what we're going to do with the different areas of the garden, and we do plan it for quite a long time before we actually make a start and start transforming it into what we want it to be. Obviously we've got the compulsory washing line there, but we do have a nice prop which we've made out of a rustic branch that we found. We do like things that are very rustic and natural and beautiful. Even the line prop can be beautiful. And this is near the top of the garden, where our seating area, patio, is going to be. As you can see, we're building a dry stone wall along the back there, and these are the herbs. So here we've got some mint, some chives, different varieties of mint. That's your mint that everybody's used to, that they cook with, put in the potatoes and things. It smells amazing, especially now I've disturbed it. You can really smell the mint. And then here, this one here is a spearmint. I like to put that in a gin. It really infuses and smells and tastes lovely. And this one is an apple mint. We also have some quail. These are quail that we hatched out ourselves in an incubator about 4 years ago now, so they're doing really well. They're only supposed to live for 2 years, but they're obviously happy. And we do get quite a lot of eggs from them, which we like to have with our salad. So that's the quail. We have several fruit trees in the garden. This one is a peach, and I don't know if you can see that. I'll just try and show you. We've got some tiny peaches coming on the tree. We did actually count them, and we think at the last count there was about 50 peaches coming on there. So hopefully we should get a really good crop of peaches this year. And then at the side of the shed we have an olive tree. And here you can see our trellis, which has been handmade and is up on the side of the shed. And below the trellis, I've mentioned this in a previous video, this is the wooden planter that we've made for the garden. And right in front of it, that beautiful pink rose that you can see, smells absolutely wonderful. And that is a hybrid tea rose. And I do honestly wish that you could smell it. It smells amazing. And this is the very top of the garden. That's my dog getting his 15 minutes of fame by being in the post. Hello, Oliver. Oliver. Hello. But as you can see, it's quite a lovely view over the back of our garden. When we first moved in, it was fenced with a 6-foot fence. You couldn't see over it, so we've taken that one down and we've put a smaller fence in so that we can sit up here and enjoy the views. So that's it from me today. I hope you've enjoyed the video, and I hope it's inspired you to get out into the garden. I hope everybody's keeping safe and well in these strange times and enjoying the gardens just as much as we are. So until next time, bye bye for now.